Good morning, Benjamin. I'm in the airport on the way to our cousin's wedding. I hope I'll see you at the rehearsal dinner tonight. I really liked the questions that you asked in your last video about how do you know what's right and wrong, and what gives you value, where do you find your value as a human being. I think that the questions are actually related. I think that they're both related to the concept of authority, because right and wrong as a concept implies a standard, and a standard applies an authority. So I think that ultimately the question of how do you know what is right and wrong relates to who do you give the authority to say what is right and wrong in your life. And I think the same question applies to how do you find your value as a human being, that it's ultimately related to authority. Who has the authority to tell you who you are and why or if you are valuable? And I think that often we give this authority both of what's right and wrong and what gives us value, or at least I find myself giving this authority to my friends. I give them the authority to tell me what's right, in the sense that, I'll do what's accepted within my immediate social network and the culture that surrounds that. And then also, in terms of whether I find myself valuable as a human being, I often determine it based on what my friends think of me. But I think that ultimately that's not going to work out too well, and I've found that frustrating in the past, because I think that a lot of times, your immediate surroundings or immediate friends aren't necessarily going to tell you the truth about yourself, or the truth about what's really right and wrong. Obviously, as a person of faith, I think that the only authority for what is right and wrong and the end game, and the only authority for telling you who you are, is God, as He has revealed Himself in His Son Jesus Christ. So I think we have to take whatever we think about right and wrong, whatever we think about ourselves, and line those up against the truth of Jesus Christ, and see where it stands and adjust it accordingly. Now, clearly friends aren't the only authority besides God that we let tell us what's right and wrong or what's valuable. There's also ourselves, or our own ability to perform, or the wider culture around us. So I'd be interested to hear your answers to your own questions, Benjamin, as well as a specific ethical question that's been troubling you recently. So that's today's question for you to answer.